following is a paid program. The views expressed on this program are not necessarily those of Entercom Communications, its sponsors, or affiliates.
Good morning. Welcome to the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. I'm your host, Harvey Freed. We've got a great little show set up for you this morning. Becky Alley to my right.
Welcome, everybody, to our show. And lady listeners out there, if you got even slightly wavy hair, do not bother doing your hair because it is a humid haven outside.
Yeah.
I believe it's a weather technical term, humid haven.
Becky, besides being an awesome loan originator, one of our tops at Capital Mortgage, you also have helpful tips for women's hair this morning and some other things, too. It's great.
It's a process.
So we'll definitely talk about mortgages and real estate. We bring in Chris Staten from eXp Realty in Southeast Michigan. Hey, Chris, welcome back to our show.
Yay. Good to have you. It's always good to be in studio, checking out you guys.
Yeah,
having a good time.
We told you last time we'll have you back on. We didn't know we'd have you back on so soon, but you're definitely a radio star and a great real estate agent. More importantly, you have a little bet going on with who's it, your nephew?
Yeah, my 9-year-old nephew, Jack Collins.
Uh-oh.
Pay up, sucker.
He's got to eat something like that he normally doesn't eat.
I told him I was going to be on the radio. He didn't believe me, but now I am.
All right,
there you go. You owe me.
He's
You made
forced
it
to eat
big
his.
time.
He's eating his Brussels sprouts or whatever the heck he doesn't like. He's going to be eating those, right?
That's right.
All right, that's the bet. Hey, if you just joined us again, the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. You can call us all weekend long at 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. We only give you 1 hour of the Hardcore Mortgage Show, so definitely call in with your great questions if you're buying or selling a house. 248-539-9797.
Get in where you fit in.
Oh,
Call
I
us
like
up.
that also. Serious passion here in the room because, I know, Chris, you're totally into it. You attended Michigan State University with the background in economics and marketing. And, boy, that really segues right into a real estate career and your team building skills that you've had as you keep growing your real estate, your group of people that are out there helping a lot of families, buy and sell. Because nowadays, as Becky, it's just not a one-man show. You have to have a support staff.
It's a tribe for sure.
Definitely a tribe.
Yeah, you can't do it on your own. You got to have that support staff, especially when you are trying to do the speed of response. To me, service is everything, and a lot of people don't embody that work ethic that I think is truly important. And when we're doing transactions at Capital Mortgage Funding, I know the same goes with Chris, we're going to treat each client as if we'd want someone to treat our family as if we weren't in this business. And because people go through it blindly, it's a lot of money on the table. It's a big investment. It's the biggest investment most people will ever make in their entire life. So it's really important to have the right staff, the right team behind you to get you in that door with keys in hand at the table.
Yeah, nothing like being successful home ownership. Again, answering all those questions. We always say there are no dumb questions in this industry. You really have to have that confidence, that knowledge behind you to move forward. Again, we bring you 1 hour of relevant mortgage and real estate conversation.
Real life.
There's some real things happening out there, right? Talking about the process, whether you're just purchasing a house or refinancing, whatever the method that you might have, we can sort of put that process and the method together to make it go really smooth for you. One of the things, Chris, is we continuously have been talking about really over the last 2 years is the inventory situation. I'm on the record. I've got it written down, and we can go to previous shows. The back and forth. It's the fact of the matter is there's very low inventory. We're experiencing it across the United States. Maybe here in Southeast Michigan, the average is somewhere around 3 to 4 months worth of inventory. Some of those are the stinkers out there. The lot next to the end of the subdivision where you're near the main road. Some of them have some obsolescence, but you might be able to get over that hurdle.
Yeah, what the biggest problem is, it's the lack of quality inventory. And that's what's driving this market. It's making it incredibly tricky right now because for years you've had, well, actually I got a 5-year, comparable here, just the sales prices going up, pushing up. In all of MLS, and this is from RealComp, May comparison. So May of 2013, the average sales price was $106,750.
Wow.
Well, last May,
yeah,
$176,000. That is an increase of 65%. So if you bought a house in 2013, you've made 65% gains on that house.
Yeah, on an average. Again, not everybody.
On an average.
Unfortunately, if the people were buying the houses in 2005, 2006, they're like, well, getting up there.
Yeah,
they're
exactly.
rebounding. We call those the lost years because, with a background in economics, there's, you're always trailing. People go, well, what if we didn't have that crash? Well, yeah, but we did. So you're getting back on pace. But now we're pacing at the right amount now in growth, and it's really never going to catch up back to where it should have been.
Correct.
Had it kept going at the same rate. I don't know if that makes sense.
Ran into
Yeah,
a couple old neighbors this morning at the gym, and more enough, they were telling me that the subdivision, I'm not in that subdivision anymore, and they said it has finally come back, Harvey. They said, hey, the prices now are selling. A couple of the units had sold, and they're out of 93 homes, a couple recently where we all bought them back in the early 2000s. So we're seeing that across the area.
Yeah.
And again, in some areas, if not all, they not only come back, but over the top, including your top cities, whether it be in Macomb, Washtenaw, Wayne, Oakland, or Macomb County, any of those counties.
Yeah, especially
definitely.
even downriver. Downriver is definitely hot. I mean, you have Riverview market prices that are in the $200,000-300,000 on some properties. Allen Park, you're looking at $230,000 properties. Lincoln Park's on a comeback. You're looking
That's
at 130.
great.
Everywhere across the board is definitely
Well,
getting where it needs to be.
How about South? Just in Corktown with that
Yeah.
big announcement
Oh, yeah.
of Ford buying the train depot.
I just love me the train station.
I know.
I love
Who
me
doesn't?
some
I mean, that's
Corktown.
going to be amazing. But you got to understand that that's 2,300 high quality jobs that are going to be put right into that neighborhood, and all those. There's a trickle down effect to that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and the property values are shooting up. I just looked last night just to take a look. Oh yeah, there's a couple $500,000 properties that are right around there that are posted. Hey, you want to move down here?
Right. That's awesome,
Because
though,
it's
for all
going to
the
be
folks.
the next big hub. You're right down on Michigan Ave. Because you look at what's being done down on Woodward
Yeah.
with all the stadiums and into Midtown. Well, then you go out the other direction out to Corktown on Michigan Ave. It's going to be redeveloped. There's already Slo's Barbecue down there. There's, other great restaurants. And I heard, Bill Ford Jr. talking about the fact that they're going to listen to what the community wants, and they're going to put commercial retail into like that first floor there.
Yeah.
I was
So-
even down there like 2 weeks ago. I went to this restaurant. It's called Social Tavern.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like a small plates kind of thing, super cute. And then you look outside and there's like this new park. It's like Beacon Park, and they completely redid it. And I was like, what is this sorcery over there? So we went
Yeah.
over there. There's like,
Sorcery.
yeah, so it's like a place where like kids can go and moms or dads. So there was like light up hula hoops, and there was a DJ, and little kids are dancing, adults are dancing. And then there's this outdoor bar called Lumen, I believe it was called. It was awesome.
Yeah, I might get down to the city tonight. No doubt that having a strong Detroit back is helping everything else. As always, the suburbs have fed off the downtown Detroit area. And of course, that's how it goes in most major cities. So really cool stuff down there. It's really exciting stuff. And again, a lot of new construction coming out there too. The inventory, the writing was on the walls for the last couple years, driving up the prices. And now we kick in a little bit of a lumber shortage. And then potentially some other things, difficulty with getting the trades out there. And it's making new construction a little bit more expensive. And also home improvements have become more expensive in general. So a lot of opportunities out there. But again, things will become more expensive due to the lack of inventory. And of course, we're trying to get some of those trades back here. That's the key. Is a lot of the families have fixed up their homes, spent money. They're looking for new construction now, and getting the trades out there. If you're, I know that if you're anyone who's skilled trades, definitely give Capital Mortgage a call. We can set you up with all the builders in town.
Yes.
If not the moving company. So,
Or even if you're doing those renovation loans, we need contractors. We need strong contractors that have that capital that can get us through the transaction, that are licensed, can get it done. They and know that we'll get it done and correctly, and then we'll get them paid and all that. But we want to make sure that our borrowers have correct people in these transactions that do quality work. You don't want to just slap something together and put some patch and paint on it. I mean, you want to make these upgrades and make them top notch, so that way they're going to last the rest of your life.
That's a great point. Of course, you bring up the home renovation loans, whether it be an FHA 203K or the conventional products that we have at Capital Mortgage. You can use these products when you're purchasing a house. And of course, Beck, we'll talk a little bit later in the show about maybe that strategy too, as families are trying to get their hands on the best opportunity. Well, what's happening is those other houses are going so fast, they're being overbid.
Yeah.
And some of them are losing them to cash offers too, Chris. So the competition for the starter homes, and it could be anywhere between a $50,000 house up to a $250,000 house. But not only are you against all the families, the young families, the single individuals looking to buy those, even the divorced people that are up against, now you're up against all the investors that are buying them to build their portfolios. And some of those offers are cash. So what's happening is, you might have to change what your want and needs list is.
It is a jungle out there.
And actually, what one of the interesting parts about the investor part is typically when you think an investor is going to make an offer, by default, they're going to come in low, right? Because they want to come in low.
Okay.
But they're coming in higher and higher and higher and truly being more competitive with the retail volume because they understand that the market's going up and there's things that are pushing up. So they can lock in now, ride that economic wave up. And so now you got real true competition out there because they carry the cash.
Right. It used to be, they were the tire kickers. They would lowball you, but that's not the
An
case
investor
anymore. It's a
would
great
be
point.
awesome. I'd list a house, and then I would get that lowball offer in. Let's just hypothetically list for 100,000. I get an offer for 70. Perfect. I let everybody else know I have an offer. all the other retail people are like, "Oh my God, there's already an offer on the
Hurry.
Oh my God, I need to do this." And then I get another one. I had one. I had a $150,000 condo in Commerce that I listed, and I got an offer, cash, low, 135.
I'm also noticing that a lot
Came in at
of
152.5. I bumped it up to 152.5
Right.
on the next offer.
top.
Right.
You got to get the top and the best. And what I've also noticed is that you have houses are going on the market, and as soon as they're setting open houses, I've noticed that a lot of the listing agents open houses, so that way, what is the tactic of that? So that way you can make sure you get every offer on the table, highest and best, immediately.
Well, open houses have two purposes. One, it's to obviously generate enough traffic. But if I get an offer in, I put an open house on there to put the squeeze on that buyer. Because here's what they're thinking. They're thinking, I don't want 52 people going through the house that I'm in love with.
No.
Because my job as the listing agent is to sell it for the most, and I'm going to. And I mean, hey, buyer A, I love you. Great letter you wrote. Awesome. You're such great people. But the reality is I'm still going to do what's in the best interest of my seller.
Right. It's all about dollars and cents at the end of the game. All right. We've got tons to share with you. We're going to make this real exciting here. Keep it here on 97.1 The Ticket. All of your calls, 248-539-9797. We'll be right back.
97.1 The Ticket.
Hi, Harry Glantz and Dan Burke for Capital Mortgage Funding. We do loans everywhere. In Southfield, in Birmingham, in Royal Oak, in Grosse Ile, in Detroit, in Canton, in Northville. No matter where you live, we want to do your mortgage too. That's Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker.
Welcome back to the show, 918. If you're just joining us, it's the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. 1-800-LOW-RATE. You'll get a great mortgage, the best, lowest interest rates, the best service, all that good stuff. 1-800-569-7283. Mike Tomchek, stay on hold. We're going to move off to Tim in Algonac. You got a great call coming in. Hey, Tim, thanks for joining us on the show. You're trying to sell your house. Tell us the story.
Yes, I'm trying to sell my house. My house is actually over in Chesterfield, Chesterfield Township, off of Chesterfield Road and between 24 and 25 Mile Road.
Yeah, Macomb's hot.
Chesterfield Lake
Yeah.
Yeah, hot spot, Chesterfield Lake subdivision, 3-bedroom colonial. We got a nice great room, open great room. I got a den, library, formal dining room, full finished basement with a wet bar. I put the house on the market in April. Had probably about 15, 20 showings. I started at 329.9. I'm down to 314.5, and I haven't got no offers, no nothing. Beautiful elevations, reversed, 2.5 car garage.
I'm sold. The problem is I'm not a buyer out there. Hey, let me get my expert in here. Dan, what do you think, Tim? What's going on there?
It's overpriced.
Okay. Hey, what's going on with that, Tim?
If a house doesn't sell in this market, it's overpriced or it has something that is wrong with it, and it's blatant. So, you said you had it at 329. When you list a house, you want to list a house. I always list them in $25,000 segments, right?
Okay.
So 325,000, 350,000, because you're going to get the same buyer at 325. You are at 314.
Their search, the way they
right?
punch it in, their search shows up the same thing.
Without a doubt. Everyone comes to you and says, Dan, I want to go to 300 or 450 or 425. So you put that in there. So when you're pricing them, instead of 329, you should have started at 324.9, right? But what I'm seeing here is that I don't know the market out there that well, but if it's anything like around here, the only reason it won't sell is because it's overpriced.
Price too high.
Or some obsolescence that we're not hearing about.
Yeah,
Tim,
but even then, even a home that has some issues will still sell.
Tim, have you had any offers since April?
Nothing at
You've
all.
had
in the
zero.
house. I got
97.1 The Ticket Street Team will be at Basement Burger Bar on Brush Street in Detroit from 7 to 9. You could win tickets to see the Tigers take on the Boston Red Sox Saturday, July 21st at 6:10. Check out all the specials and fun. Get more at 971theticket.com.
Donate to 97.1 The Ticket Student Heart Check Program, and you might just save a life. Your donation will pay for a healthy heart check for a student whose family otherwise couldn't afford it. Go to 971theticket.com and search Student Heart Check.
Your teams, your life, your sports station.
97.1 The Ticket.
Alrighty, welcome back to the show. It's 9:18. It is definitely going to be a little cloudy outside, getting up to about 76
Humid
degrees.
Haven.
Human Haven, yeah. Becky with the hair report for all the women out there and men out there, not me, but
Yeah, you pass it.
leave
You're
it.
not gonna worry about
Just
it.
leave it alone and
Yeah.
don't even put it up
Hair
in a.
up or hat today for
I
you
actually
ladies.
feel like I'm having a good hair day.
Oh man, it's a process for wavy hair ladies with long hair.
Oh, great. Well, we'll be talking to my daughters later. Hey, this
Yeah.
is the
Hair
Hardcore
tips.
Mortgage Real Estate Show. Again, we always give you 1 hour of mortgage and real estate talk. We brought Chris Dayton in from eXp Realty in Southeast Michigan and Becky Alley from Capital Mortgage Funding to help me along here. We take all your calls, 248-539-9797, whether you're buying or selling a house. Deal with real experts that care. Boy, I got too many great stories. Some of them I can't share with you today on the air, but you definitely can call me at the office if you want to hear some really interesting stuff. But Chris, as we were talking today, all these different opportunities for families, and try to like take an individual and place them into something where he's going to be successful. And we even mentioned off the break that every house is so different where you might have to spend an extra 10 or 20,000 out of your pocket, or let's say finance that house and spend 10 to 20,000 more on the purchase price, but you don't have to come back and remodel the house immediately. It's more of a move-in condition house. And how important it is to get clients set up that way.
Well, it's interesting too because what's happening is a lot of the younger generation, first-time homeowners, they don't want to do remodels. That's
Present.
Totally.
I'm not a first-time home buyer, but I want a turnkey. I want to walk in and
Yeah.
I like the colors. Cool.
That's what's creating the opportunity for the trades to come in and have a job and be able to pick up a home, and then they fix it up, and then they're able to list it and sell it pretty quickly because all these, for lack of better term, the millennials, they don't want to do the work. They want to walk in, they want to have it ready, and they're going to pay more for it, and they're okay with that.
They're okay with it. Hey, they went to school. They've got the income coming in. They've got the job. You talk about on today's market, association fees, your current debts, figuring out a house payment that families are comfortable with. I usually tell families that it's different than renting. You know, if you were paying $1,000 in rent, just to use a round number, you're going to get more money and you're paying $1,000 on a mortgage. Well, you're going to get a tax refund. You're going to your tax deduction at the end of the year, writing off the interest, writing off the property tax that you paid on the house. So maybe it's like 25%. Maybe if you're used to spending $1,000 a month on rent, you would be more comfortable at $1,250. There's a way to figure that out.
Right.
And until we get the family in there, I always get the call a year later and they're like, Harvey, you're so right on this. I got my tax refund back. The house is great. We're meeting families.
Right.
And we're spending less money because there's more things to do in a community when you're a homeowner.
Correct. And you're also establishing yourself. I mean, when you're renting from someone, you also run the risk of right now you're in a market that is predominantly for the sellers, and they could just give you your walk-in papers and say you have 30 days to get out because now I want to sell it, and if you can't buy it, you're out looking for another house to possibly rent. So why, if you can get yourself into a home that call your own and establish yourself, plant your roots for your family, your children, why not do that? It's a lateral move for you, for your family, for the schools, kids, all that. So absolutely. And you need to make sure that you call us so we can make sure that we're setting you up for success. Like Harvey was saying about your payment, making sure that you're comfortable, know what your payment's going to be, know what your cash to close is going to be, and then also discuss with us what you have in the bank so that way we can get with your realtor and know that how he's going to negotiate the offer for possible asking the seller to pay some of your closing costs and how to negotiate that to make sure that you can get in the house for the right dollar amount and also the right price.
We can do that, and that's why working with you is very important. But the reality is the only people who should be renting right now are people who are in transition. Maybe they got divorced. They don't know exactly where they want to live yet. Maybe they're downsizing. They sold their house and then they, ended up wanting to buy something that's not available yet.
Right.
So it's a transitional thing because the truth of the matter is the net worth over your lifetime.
Yeah.
There's statistics that show that all over the place that if you own your home, you are, I think it's 5 times more likely, you have 5 times more net worth
Oh, yeah.
over your lifetime than if you rent. So the renting serves a purpose without a doubt, but it should be only for transitional. If you can get into a home, you absolutely should
Yeah,
do that.
maybe a year if you can, but at the same time, let's just say your credit isn't superb. Okay. Maybe that's something that's holding you back. It's not just transitional. It's your credit. Just you can't qualify right now. Again, if you're even, can't I, you need to give us a call because we can look at your credit and we can establish specific things that you need to work on so that way we can get you to that credit qualifying score faster. Because a lot of people will just say, well, I've been paying this card and I can be paying that card. Well, we can zero it down to the very specific card that it might even just be a $10 difference on one card, or maybe there's a medical collection that is just you've already paid it, and maybe we can get that credit, that collection to delete themselves, and that's 100-point difference. And I know that because I see it all the time.
Yeah.
So give us a call, give us the opportunity to narrow it down, so you're not just going through it blindly. Can I? Can't I? We'll tell you and how to get there.
All right, 248-539-9797. Want to hear from you all morning long on the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show. Again, you can call Capital at 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. Get that strong approval letter. That's the key. We'll run your file through the whole system. It's an automated approval first, and then we go ahead and get your documentation. This could all be done within 1 day.
Yes.
Where once we verify your funds to close, we've run you through the automated system. Unless something catastrophic happens, you are a strong buyer, and a qualified real estate agent will recognize it on your approval letter. And of course, they always recognize Capital Mortgage Funding and want to accept those offers first. Hey, what about those families? Again, Chris, you saw it over the years, over the last 5 to 6 years. Maybe they didn't buy it right away. Well, there's no doubt sooner is better than later because they just came in with the March CoreLogic's Home Price Index, came in with from March of 2017 to March of 2018. This was across the board. Prices on the lower end homes between 50 and 125,000, they went up 10%. I mean, just boom. And within 1 year, what you bought maybe for 120,000, now you're looking at it's upwards to 130, 135,000. What that's done for a lot of families, Beck, as we know, is now they're able to come back, refinance, remove private mortgage insurance.
Yes.
But as we're talking about this morning here, building this wealth, this opportunity where if they stay there over a period of time, your balance goes down. No one's out there getting these ridiculous interest-only loans that were out there in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
That again, did they work for anybody? Maybe a few people they worked for, but on a standard fixed rate, you're paying down your principal. The home's appreciating. That gives you the opportunity to consolidate some debt in the future.
Yeah, your money's working for you. You're making your money work for you. And another thing too is that you have it's still worth it to pull. You have these equities, right, where you can either remove the PMI, but you can also pull the equity out of your home and use it to renovate your home. Make your equity work for you. Because the thing is, they changed some tax laws, and you can no longer write the interest off on home equity lines of credit. So you can, can you still get a home equity line, a second mortgage on your loan? Absolutely. But however, from my perspective, I would go the route of using my equity on my primary mortgage so that way my interest is still working for me. I'm not losing that tax write-off, and I don't have extra liens on my property that are not needed.
That's a great point.
Everybody wants to buy low and sell high.
Right.
That's like the human nature. They never want to be the one that's the opposite of that. And, the reality is you look at interest rates right now, and I don't have a crystal ball.
They're not going to zero.
They're not going to zero, but I operate in this manner of like, what's more likely to happen? So you tell me, what's more likely? Are interest rates going to go to 4% or 5.5%?
Colors?
The colors are going to say they're going up. They're definitely going up.
They're going up.
Yes.
So then you start talking about purchase power ability, right? So if the rates go up, that affects how much you can afford on a monthly basis.
Yeah.
Now, here's my theory of what's happening in our country right now, is that with those trades, and there's a shortage of lumber, and then we're also potentially getting into trade wars. Our administration's doing these things, and that's going to have an effect. What that's going to do is the two biggest factors you have in your household income or your expenses, your house and your car. Well, we're in Southeast Michigan. So if cars become more expensive to build and your payments go up on those, what goes down in your affordability? Well, you're going to be able to afford less house.
Yeah.
You conjecture that with interest rates going up, and now you're affording even less. And so I think when people ask me all the time, hey, when's the shift coming? When's the shift coming? Because this can't be like this forever. Well, I think there has to be a triggering event. And I think we're pretty close to it.
Right.
I think the triggering event might be that G7 summit.
Oh, okay. So you're making it's a soft prediction, just a
my
soft prediction.
Yeah.
Well, again, with anything, especially with housing, a conservative approach is what we do at Capital Mortgage. We think that's the best approach.
Yes.
Making sure that you're educated in the process. So when you do make a decision to move forward with either the purchase or you're refinancing or consolidating some debt, that you're doing this for the long haul and you understand the reasons why. You're just not doing it to do it. You do it because you're going to save a lot of money. And again,
Look, you don't day trade houses.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And make a lot of money doing that. Transactions get a little tricky. I'm going to just throw this out there too. 248-539-9797. Transactions can get a little tricky out there.
Yes.
In fact, we see it quite often. You want to comment on that before I jump in?
Yeah, for sure. I actually was just thinking about it earlier. You need to make sure sometimes you just don't know any better. Okay, so let's just say you want to get pre-approved for a house, and I pull your credit on May 4th. You unknowingly on May 5th go and get a new car lease or a car loan or something of that nature. Let's just say you're a well-qualified buyer, 20% down, all your ratios are in line. I would not know about this new debt that you've acquired until like maybe 10 days before we're closing, because we have to do what's called a credit refresh where we look at the trade lines and all that again. Okay. So now you have a transaction we're now wrapping up, and 10 days before we're projecting ourselves to close, we have this new debt that popped up. And this is only if you don't disclose things to us. It's very important that you make sure that if you even think that you should be doing something or should not be doing something, you inform us, because our efficiency, again, is contingent upon our clients' efficiencies.
Yeah, I like that a lot. And when we come back, we're going to really expand on all of this.
Yeah.
Dealing with the professional real estate agents, professional mortgage people will definitely better your chances for more success. All right, 248-539-9797. Give us a call.
Hi, Harry Glantz and Dan Burke for Capital Mortgage Funding. We do loans everywhere. In Southfield, in Birmingham, in Royal Oak, in Groseal, in Detroit, in Canton, in Northville. No matter where you live, we want to do your mortgage too. That's Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker.
Welcome back to show 934. It's the Hardcore Mortgage Show brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. That's where you'll find us all week long, all weekend long at 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. Also, you can send us an email to mortgage.show@lowrateonline.com. Lots of more information to share with you all morning long. We brought in Dan Dubinsky from Skyward Realty in downtown Royal Oak, right on Washington. It's a lot of fun to get down to your office, Dan. And, of course, Royal Oak, along with many of these other cities across Southeast Michigan, have really become like just unbelievable meccas of entertainment, fun, restaurants, and this downtown living style that everyone's looking for. And it's been a lot of fun, of course, in Royal Oak and several other cities across Southeast Michigan.
Yeah, you remember the urban areas. I grew up in the suburbs, patios in the back. Now you're having porches in the front, and people are more social.
Want to hang out.
Yeah, they want to hang out. They want to be part of a community, and that's where the towns like Birmingham, Royal Oak, Ferndale, Berkeley.
Actually want to get to know your neighbors, hang out, talk to people, have fun.
Without a doubt.
Love it.
And now Detroit, so it's a more social thing. I like last night. I walked into town, had a bite to eat, a drink, and ran into a couple people, and then had an ice cream cone and walked home.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
It's
sounds like my big night.
Yeah,
I like that's a big night for me.
It's my girlfriend's birthday. Yeah,
well, of
happy
course,
birthday, Jess.
Skyward Realty, along with Capital Mortgage Funding, celebrating home buyer ownership month this month of June, celebrating promoting the modern American dream of home ownership, which is a lot of fun. Owning a home can change your life. There's no doubt about that. It brings a lot of wealth, enhance your future. Find out how you fit into purchasing a home by calling Capital Mortgage Funding at 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. Also, Dan, as we know, we're going to get Mike back on the phone from Paramount Appraisals. Yeah, so many families here have just been really just taking the opportunity of the times, purchased a house maybe in 2009, 10, 11, or 12, and they're sitting on a ton of equity right now. Debt consolidations have been just gangbusters.
Part of the American dream is to own a home ownership, right? You go to Home Depot or Lowe's right now, they're packed. People it's part of life. You go on and make your home nicer. It creates the subdivisions or the communities you're in. You're increasing the value by doing these, improvements to your home.
It takes the community and everyone in your subdivision to pitch in and make that a place to be where homes are going to appreciate in value. And again, use that equity to do debt consolidation loans. A lot of families now taking advantage, paying off student loan debts, any toxic debt that might be out there. So again, lots of opportunities out there. Call Capital and find out how you can save a lot of money. Hey, let's roll back to Mike Tomchek.
Red Wings and Pistons all play here. 97.1 The Ticket.
All righty, welcome back to the show, 9:33. Good morning if you're just getting out of bed. I can't say it's going to be a great one out there, but every day, as we say, is a great day. So enjoy yourself. 76 degrees, a little cloudy today, and the same for tomorrow. That's okay. We'll get it all squared away next week as we go up to 90 degrees.
What?
And we got Tiger baseball here on 97.1 a little bit later
degrees
today.
again?
And, of course, the Tigers got to get out of their losing ways. Last night,
man, you Tigers.
that took the wind out of me. 10-0 last night. That's not any good.
No, Tigers.
We'll get back on top tonight.
Come back home,
Grand Slam.
Tigers.
Well, the Hardcore Mortgage Show, again, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. Give us a call at the office. We have a full staff there. I'm going to be back in the office a little bit later today to meet some clients. It's always fun. If you want to sit down with true mortgage professionals, call our office. You can set up an appointment with any of our professional mortgage people. Again, we have lots of experience. Most of our people in the office has been around for several years. You can just check at the mortgage license numbers. You can see we've been around a long time.
I don't think there's anyone on our staff that has less than at least 5-10 years. I mean, we're definitely like, I don't think there's anyone that has less than that.
We talk about things in the past, and Chris, you mentioned the millennials and stuff. I mean, it's worth pointing out. Did they really care what happened 10 years ago? I mean, if you're 25 years old, you're out of college, you got your job. They were 15, 14 years old. I don't think they care anymore.
Well, hey, the Lions went 0-16 10 years ago.
Oh, there you go. It seems like a long time. It feels like yesterday, but it seems like a long time ago. But where I'm going with that is things in the past could come back to haunt people if they, just don't stick to some of their basics. And as we talk about overspending on certain things, using your house as a bank account, there's reasons why you want to build equity in your house. We're not telling you to dive back in there and pull all the equity out, but you can use your house as something that could help you in the future. And we see so many clients that have student loan debt or after their weddings and after just life and a couple kids that, they do have $10,000 to $20,000 worth of credit card debt. So why not use the equity in your house? It's not for everybody, but if you have equity in your house, we'll do the math for you to show you what the numbers look like.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually had a transaction, a couple months ago. I didn't hit the birth lottery. I had to pay for my schooling and all that stuff. But, there are some parents out there that are really going broke putting their kids through college. And I think that's a beautiful thing. Congratulations. But, now they're at their point where they're trying to retire. And it fits for them in some situations where they can use that equity to pay off those student loan debts and they're paying for cars and things like that. And we actually ended up saving them $1,000 a month, which is huge. I mean, that's huge. So again, that's not every situation, but you don't know until you call us. And we're straightforward. We're not going to sugarcoat it. It either makes sense or it doesn't. But at the same time, we have to make sure that we're putting you in the right vehicle to get you where you need to go for you. We can give you our opinion, but again, you are the end decision.
Beck, we're seeing that with a lot of families, Chris, you too, see with all the equity in the house, again, they can do a cash out refinance. A lot of the older folks, if you're over 62, and that's not really that old, but as you get into your retirement ages, you're able to look at a reverse mortgage. Yeah. And reverse mortgages are really interesting. Now, it's not for everyone out there. I'm not going to get into a full description of how a reverse mortgage works, but you can use, again, the equity in your house to set yourself up so you don't even have house payments. We talk about cash flow as you get older, but as you mentioned, Beck, you put the kids through school. Now you're looking at your finances. Your home's now starting to come back. You're starting to build some equity up. If you're closer to retirement, again, call us. Yeah. We work with a lot of seniors and retirement programs to make sure that you're set up for the future. So again, getting more professional people involved will help you save a lot of money. 248-539-9797 as we talk about mortgages and real estate. Chris, you want to jump in with something on your...
Actually, I wanted to ask or bring up with you, when you have a house, you're listing agent, and it's vacant. What is the difference between if you are showing a home that is empty versus proper staging? And where does that fall in play as far as how quickly or the quality of offers you think you'll get?
Yeah, it's interesting because a lot of people go round and round on that, and they say, it's vacant, it's clean, it's a clean slate. But here's what happens when you take a buyer through a vacant home. They look at it and they do see the clean slate. They also see somebody who has to sell because they're not living there. So there's an implied sense of urgency from the seller part. So there is a better offer going to come in or a not so great offer going to come in. If that seller, if the buyers think that person has to sell, then they just don't write as good of offers. So as a seller, it's worth it to and it doesn't even have to be staged amazing or anything like that. It just has to have stuff in it.
Okay, what about, I would say like color quality. Let's just say they have kind of a really weird, odd colors. Do you think it's worth it to paint them a neutral colors?
Yes.
Okay. Because I would think most people not most, but some people maybe lack that vision of
Look,
what it could look like.
I've been in some homes and people love purple. Like, my God, what is it with the deep purple? I've seen multiple houses.
It's a color of royalty. That's why, Chris.
Is that what it is? Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I missed my chance on Meghan Markle, so whatever. But I walk in, I'm like, oh my God, it's terrifying to me. I'm a more modern. I like my neutral color sets, and by and large, if you're looking to sell and you want to see what your house should look like, go buy a new construction model.
There you go.
And take a look at what they do, because they're top-notch professionals, and just get an idea. And if you do half of what they do, you're good to go.
There you go. And your house will look like it was built in the last few years, at least, the last decade. All right, hey, let's move up to a call here this morning. We'll go off to Johnny calling in from Novi. Hey, Johnny, welcome to our show. Go ahead with your question.
Good. How are you today?
Oh, good.
Good. I just wanted to ask a question. I'm a seasoned citizen, 67 years old, and I plan to be moving to a condo in 3 years. And I'd like to know, how does the timing of everything work as far as if I'm going to, should I buy a house first and then get a bridge loan? Or, because this is a good market where I'm living, and I don't want to be out of a house, have to go to an apartment for 6 months.
It's a great question. No, Johnny, what's going on right now in our marketplace is exactly what you're talking about. And I guess the problem will probably exist here in another 2 or 3 years when you go to do this. Families out there like yourself, if you qualify and you can purchase the new place without the sale of your existing home, that's the best way to go. You don't want to have a contingent offer in today's competitive marketplace, and especially with a lot of our seniors, they say 10,000 people a day are turning the age of 62 now. So it's very important that you do qualify and you're able to make an aggressive offer and buy a new place. And your existing home, after you speak with your agent, and again, Chris, you'll have to double down with me on this one. You're able to tell a guy like Johnny, hey, Johnny, homes on your marketplace sell in a week anyway, so it's not going to be no problem. You set up the timing on the purchase agreement where you're able to close on your existing house first, and then use that money to segue right into the new purchase.
I don't know. I need my money from my house to buy a new one, the equity.
Okay, in that scenario, then, what I would probably recommend is, having somebody who can negotiate what's called occupancy. So you get your deal, you put your house on the market, we sell it, and in the course of that negotiation, I'm going to get you up to 60 days of occupancy, which will allow you to close on another home. And if you're going to have a contingency on your home closing, it's better if there's already a contract on it.
Yeah.
That's just a fact.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes sense, Johnny. So basically, you agree to sell your house, and you agree to, for using today's timetable, you agree to sell it and close on July 30th.
Yeah.
And the new house, again, you don't have to close on that, let's say, till August 30th. So it gives you an ample amount of time to go out there and find the right property to fit your needs. Also,
would it make sense to buy a house? You don't think it makes sense then to go out and buy the house first, so I have some place to go, and say it's contingent on me selling because it's going to sell fast anyway, or get a bridge? How about do they do bridge loans?
Well, you do, but if you don't, it all depends. Yes, we do bridge loans, but the person doesn't always qualify for a bridge loan. A bridge loan is just always taking the equity out of your unsold home to use that for your down payment, but then you still have to qualify for the payments.
Yeah.
For some families, a bridge loan works. In today's marketplace, the homes are selling so fast, you don't need it. Johnny actually just hit on one that killed me this week. Yeah,
I was just saying,
I've been running around the office, Johnny. Yeah, the real estate agent convinced the buyer to get a bridge loan. They sold the house in one day. You don't need a bridge loan. So
well, they just paid it off right away, right? At closing.
As
You
Chris
just do it at the
told
same
you,
time.
yeah, you basically set up your purchase where you already know you have your house sold. So you have your house sold. You know it's going to close in 30 days, 40 days, and then you give yourself enough time to close on the new house, or you could even close on the same day. It is a little bit of timing. As Chris said, you can make a contingent offer if you've already got your house sold and it's already under contract. That's really key.
Yeah. So, and are there a lot of ranch condos?
No.
Detached.
Oh boy, it's a struggle out there, and that's what we're seeing with our empty nesters. Is there's just not enough of those 1,300 to 1,700 square foot ranch condos, and
especially if you want brick, it's like a unicorn. Trying to find a unicorn out there right now.
Well, you can go find one, Johnny, but you'll be downsizing, but your pocketbook won't be downsizing. They don't cost any less than your existing home. That's the problem.
No, I have to downsize pocket wise too. I'm going to retire fully at 70, and I don't want to have to make mortgage payments as I get deeper into old age.
Yeah, right. Once you're retired, it's not like you're going to go and work somewhere and for a couple hours and get some extra, income, you need to balance your life around what you're bringing in. So absolutely. So we got to make sure that we're setting you up, and obviously you're aware of your situation, and we don't want to put you in a spot where you're going to be strapped.
They soon will start building these ranch condos, Chris, with great opportunities for empty nesters to get into, where they can actually officially downsize and not get straddled with a humongous. Yeah, it's a humongous market. Johnny, great call. We'll follow up with you and see if we can give you some additional information.
We actually had a Facebook Live come in from Carrie Yeager. She said, "My problem is I'm upside down on an interest-only loan. I want out of the loan. Any suggestions?" So,
oh boy, who's got one of those still?
Yeah, it's just funny. They were talking about, interest-only used to be huge in 2005, 6.
Lower from 2000, from even 98 moving forward. There was a company out there that's pulling the wool over families' eyes. The program worked, and that product worked for some family that were responsible to pay the additional principal. But Beck, as you know, the values dropped. They were only paying interest only on the loan. They owed more money.
Right.
Again, we'll see if she qualifies for a HARP loan. So definitely give Capital Mortgage a phone call, because she might qualify for a home affordable refinance program. So she might be able to save some money there. All right, that music says we're up against a quick break. When we come back, all your calls at 248-539-9797.
97.1 The Ticket.
Hi, Harry Glantz and Danberg for Capital Mortgage Funding. We do loans everywhere. In Southfield, in Birmingham, in Royal Oak, in Groseal, in Detroit, in Canton, in Northville. No matter where you live, we want to do your mortgage too. That's Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker.
All right, and welcome back to the show, 946. It's not too bad of a day out there. Get out there and enjoy yourself. Again, don't squander a whole day. The clouds are going to move out, going up to about 80 degrees, and the sun's going to peak out this afternoon. Tons of graduation parties, so quick little salute there, and congratulations to all the graduates out there. And,
be careful.
Yeah,
call an Uber.
Call an Uber. Enjoy yourself. Do all those good things.
Don't drink and drive. Don't be stupid.
Good. I like when we send those little messages out there. Hey, we're also taking your calls on mortgages and real estate at 248-539-9797. We've got actually Kevin calling in from Belleville. Let's go right out to Kevin there. Hey, Kev, you've got a question. Go ahead.
Yes. Okay. It's a question for my parents. They own a home in Chicago that's paid for, and they've been renting it out. And I guess they want to make some repairs to it, and I guess they want to know how do they go about finding out how much equity they have in the house.
Well, a local real estate agent would be able to do market analysis for them, so they could call up, in their city, look for the top agents in their city if they got a referral. And call one or two different agents, and they'll do for free. They'll do a free market analysis, which is truly a real education. They're going in and they're finding the data on all the comparable sales that are similar to your parents' property.
Yeah, how much are they looking to take out to do the repairs?
I know they want to do the roof and a few other minor things, so I'm not exactly sure how much.
Yeah.
Okay, and the house is free and clear, right? There's no mortgage on it?
Yes, it's free and clear.
Okay, so they should be able to get some kind of either home equity line of credit or just be able to take some cash out on if they qualify. So I don't see that as a problem in terms of theoretically just pulling the money out, but they have to qualify.
Okay, but they have to go through a realtor first?
Well, no. I mean, if you want, I mean, there are ways that we could pull up information. I mean, we're licensed in Illinois. We could take a look at pulling up information, and we could do some preliminary legwork and then take a look at just a ballpark number.
Yeah, it all depends on how much they want, Kevin. Again, typically it's about 65% out of an investment property. So because it's a rental, it's not their primary residence. But again, like you said, they need a roof and some other things. They probably need between 30 and 60,000, somewhere in that ballpark, right?
Probably like that.
There you go. Hey, Kev, we'll do a follow-up call and have one of my Illinois guys give you a call. Definitely set you up with the right mortgage. Call your folks and go over some numbers with them and show them a couple different choices.
Okay.
Great stuff.
All right,
hey,
thank you
for the call. Again, that sort of segues anywhere in the United States. Again, there's built-in equity in your home. You could refinance your house and pull the equity out to consolidate debt, do home improvements. That's the key in life, is just setting yourself up financially to do the right things.
org/SR2018.
Download the all-new radio.com app and listen to 97.1 The Ticket anytime, anywhere.
97.1 The Ticket.
All righty, welcome back to the show. 9:48. If you're just joining us, good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
It's a Hardcore Mortgage Show. That girl next to me is Becky Alley, one of the best loan officers I know, other than myself. No,
Yeah,
I'm
true.
okay, but you're great, Beck. Thanks. And she's very knowledgeable and fun to deal with. And I'll tell you, it should be fun when you purchase a house, Chris Dayton. That's one of the things that I think sometimes some of the transactions are missing.
Buying? Who doesn't love
Listen,
buying?
mortgages are sexy. We're
yeah.
bringing sexy back.
Exactly. You're
It's been my
signing.
theme song for a while.
You're typically signing your name on 6 digits or more. You should enjoy the experience, understand the experience, everything about it. Why not? Make it fun. Anyways, let's move off to some calls and we'll get back to all the information we have. Chris out there in Wixom looking to build an addition, and you had a question on some loans. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, I guess my question basically is should I take the equity out of our house to build the addition or use the cash that we have for the addition? We're about 17 years into a 20-year loan. We're comfortable with our payment. Our neighbor's house sold last year for $300,000 and then ended up selling again this year for $315,000. We're a little bit bigger than ours, and we owe roughly $179 still on the house. So I think we've got a lot of equity into it. I just, again, we're kind of going through this process, and is it better for me to take the cash out and then save the cash that we do have, or what should I be thinking about?
Honestly, I think that we need to. Well, for sure, we talk about it. But if it was me personally, and I knew that I had equity in my home to make it work for me, I would actually go the refinance route. Pull the cash out, use the equity, so that way you still have that interest write-off. We can maybe even think about keeping you on a 20-year payment, so that way you're not losing any of that time. And that way, because I like to have that capital in my bank account. If you're not strapped for it, we can look at it both ways. But me personally, I like to keep my liquid assets as they are. And then because obviously when you're doing the contract, there's a lot of the other things that kind of come into it. So you could give us a call. We can run the numbers to see what the payment's going to look like, all that stuff. But from my perspective, I think that possibly pulling the cash out might be the route to
Beck,
go.
I'm giving you the little of the look here because I'm thinking, hey, Chris, you probably got a pretty awesome rate. That's what I'm afraid of. What's your current?
Okay,
what's your current rate? So I think the math will ultimately tell us what those numbers look like.
Our current rate right now, I believe, is 3.85% on that 20 years.
And how much of a home improvement are you looking at? What are you thinking out of pocket you're going to have?
We're trying to build a first floor master bedroom for our mother and father-in-law.
So you guys are staying.
I'm assuming this is going to be in the neighborhood of $40,000 to $50,000.
I mean, you're not going anywhere. You're staying. You're doing an addition to stay. I don't know. It could be a combination of both. Maybe use some of the equity by getting a home equity loan for a home improvement loan. I like that.
Yeah.
And then using some of your own cash. If you ever get into a pinch, you could always consolidate and consolidate everything into one loan in the future.
Yeah.
But if you do have 25 and you think you maybe get a small home equity loan for 25, I like that route. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Fundamentally speaking, just off the top of my head, if you have the ability to improve an asset with the asset, you should probably do that.
Like to use some of it, right?
Yeah, some of it,
Yeah, and again, you're not going anywhere. You're doing this as a long-term thing, so you're not going anywhere. So I think you're going to recoup your cost over a period of time. And you're in a city where it's things are really starting to grow your way. Everyone's headed west.
They very much so are.
Great. What kind of schools? What school district are you in over there in Wixom?
We're in the Walled Lake School District, and we're actually directly across the street from an elementary school, which is why we've got at least a 10 to 15-year plan to stay in the house because of the little ones that we have. So.
There you go. That always falls into it, Chris. It's a great question. We'll follow up with you after the show and appreciate the call. Good stuff.
I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Good, thank you. Again, hey, if you have a question about mortgages or real estate, hey, just want to talk it out. I mean, give us a call. We've gone through these scenarios a couple hundred times for sure. And we're always here to help you. There's no obligation to call professional people. We're going to get into professional people here in a little bit, Chris, because we know some people in our industry don't act accordingly. We'll talk about that if we have time. Emily out there in Pontiac. Emily, you got a question about PMI? What's your question?
So I bought my house for a really good price. I paid $50,000 for it, but I have got a loan with PMI.
Yep.
So my monthly mortgage is about $550. I pay $600, but I'm paying $50 a month in PMI.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'd like to not be kind of, I feel, throwing that money away. And I've lived in the house 5 years. I talked to my loan company. They said, when I talked to them, like, 2 years ago, they said, oh, at 5 years, like, well, we can get rid of that. Now they're saying, oh, at 8 years, we can get rid of it.
Now, is this an FHA loan that you have, or was it a conventional?
An FHA.
FHA. Okay. So FHA, that PMI, or it's called MIP, actually, it's not going anywhere.
Yeah, it's never going away.
Yeah, regardless of whatever equity you have in there, unless you pay off or refinance out of that loan, you will have that PMI or MIP on there till kingdom come. So if we do think there's a little bit of equity, what is the rate on there?
I think it's like 4.1.
Okay, and that's a 30-year fixed?
Yeah.
Okay, so naturally the rates are higher than what you currently have right now, and the loan amount you said is around $50,000?
That's what it originally was. Now it's
okay.
Like
so
40.
it's lower now. All right, so we'll definitely need to call you and run those numbers. It's definitely for sure worth looking at to get you out of that PMI or the MIP rather. But the rate would be a little bit on the higher side. But we need to look at the overall monthly payment, and the longevity of it is get out of conventional or get out of FHA into conventional, so that way you don't have to waste your money on that extra MIP payment.
So Emily, dig this. This is cool. Yeah. And then you talk right after. So we refinance your house. Maybe at let's just say the rate is a 15-year even. We'll drop her down to a 15-year, and maybe the rate's 4.5. Let's just throw that out there for a conversation.
Yep.
But there's no more mortgage insurance. So I think that would be a path. If you're working towards paying off the house, if you like, you're going to stay there for a little bit longer because there's some closing
Only
costs.
like 3 more years is the plan.
It's going to, we'll run the numbers for you for sure.
Yeah.
Beck, you'll follow up right after the show today.
We'll give you a call. And we'll make sure, again, we always make sure we can't preach it enough. It has to make sense for you. So that's the biggest thing.
Okay.
Emily, you learned something today. Remember, FHA loans have MIP, and that MIP, that monthly MIP, will not fall off your loan unless they change. Unless they change that, yeah. Actually, Emily, it's a great call. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
248-539-9797. You know, right before the election this year, the Federal Housing Administration sent out the letter, the mortgagee letter, stating that the new was going to go into effect in January. That the new FHA loans, the MIP, would fall off.
Right.
Problem, the election changed. We had a new housing secretary go in, and before you know it, they went ahead and reverted it, and they said, nope, FHA loans. Now, there is talk this week, and I just read the article last night, that over the next meetings in the next several months, they're thinking about reducing the upfront MIP, which is 1.75% of the loan amount. As we know, the FHA, Federal Housing Administration, has become very healthy lately. They weren't. As everyone was walking away from their homes, this money is used to put the homes back on the marketplace and keep the program running. So, all right. Are you kidding me? That music says we're over with? I'm just getting rolling here.
We're just getting warmed up.
I got a whole other page here we didn't get into. Chris Dayton, you got a whole bunch to share with us. If you want to say something, final thoughts.
Hey, just give a shout out to my boy Marks Elias at First American Title. He's a true professional, just like these guys at Capital Mortgage Funding.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Professionals.
There you go. Well, definitely Chris Dayton at eXp Realty. You can find Chris. Give us a call. Capital will set you up with Chris and all the top real estate professionals in the area. Becky Ellie, always great to have you on.
Yes, thanks for having me. I'm always welcome. I love being here, and I want to be here all the time.
All right. And again, helpful tips next time on your hair and makeup and everything
hair and makeup
else.
tips,
All right.
I got your back.
Or mortgages and real estate. I'm Harvey Free for Becky Alley. Capital Mortgage is open all weekend long. 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. We got Pat Caputo coming up with sports. Keep it here.
Hi, Harry Glantz and Danberg for Capital Mortgage Funding. We do loans everywhere. In Southfield, in Birmingham, in Royal Oak, in Grosse Ile, in Detroit, in Canton, in Northville. No matter where you live, we want to do your mortgage too. That's Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker.